Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of the Couch GMs Podcast. It is Thursday, October 23rd, 2025. I'm your host, George Kurt, joined by the one and only Cody Roadcap. And it is a special day today, Cody. Don't you think?
Yeah, man, I'm celebrating my 3rd year anniversary in one day. That seems pretty special.
Yeah, it is. Happy anniversary.
But that doesn't seem like that was what you were expecting me to say.
No, I don't know what I could be thinking, though.
My birthday was last week. Does that count?
And happy belated birthday. I mean, yeah, we already sung. I decided not to sing. You're welcome to everybody out there.
I'm really making this all about me. But what is the big special occasion for today?
Can you believe that this is episode 300 of the Couch GMs Podcast?
No. I don't know how we
like 300.
How we have not been forced off the internet by now, like page taken down. I don't even like George, so that's a lot of episodes to talk to him about.
Good thing we haven't been together for 300, but we're probably getting pretty close.
That's right. That's why I had to miss last week for sure.
Yeah, having Tyler back was a good time, and I'm sure we're going to see a couple of clips of him when we get later in the show, because we're going to throw back some of our favorite moments, reminisce, show a couple of cringe clips. It's going to be a great time. Make sure you stick around to the end to hear that one. But in the meantime, make sure you follow us at the Couch GMs on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok to get even more than you do from the show here. You can always DM us with any fantasy questions you have, or join us live Mondays and Thursdays at 6:30 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We have a lot to cover today, Cody. Why don't we jump in and see what is happening? Starting off, the New York Jets have refused to name a starting quarterback for this week as a competitive advantage, and it's not going to matter because they're probably going to 0-8 anyway.
So we will get to this, but I just need all the listeners to know that I just looked at the rundown for the first time, and there's like 5 or 6 things. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is legit. I missed Monday's show, obviously. I've been a little checked out on football with the work conference. And so, George, you're going to get some live reactions of like what happened to this player or why is it this way. But the Jets quarterback situation is one that I did hear about. I did see the clip of Aaron Glenn talking about the competitive advantage. It is worth noting that Tyrod Taylor is on the injury report as well. But it seems like they're non-committal between him or Justin Fields. But to your point, probably heading to 0-8 anyways.
Yeah, it's not pretty up there in New York right now.
Do the Jets and Titans play this year? Is this going to be like the number one?
I hope they do. I really don't know. If you want to try to take a second to look up their schedule, I'll try to ramble for you. That would probably be one of their shots. No. Do they play the Saints by any chance? Probably, definitely not.
Titans, Saints play December 28th.
Titans, Saints play. Okay. That'll be a good one. I was thinking Jets, Saints, but the Saints are even playing decent right now.
Yeah.
Not really winning, but they're like hanging in games and they look competitive.
They look competitive, but they haven't, won
Taysom Hill's back.
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to rant at you about Taysom Hill, but I did it at Snyder on Monday. It was a great time.
I think I might need to change my start tight end of the week now.
Don't actually do that. I was talking about how 2 weeks ago he scored a touchdown. I got excited, and he finished with 6.1 fantasy points. The bare minimum you can get while scoring a touchdown.
The Jets and the Saints play the week before. So that could be an interesting 2-week stretch to round out those last quarter of the season.
Those are always some of the best games too. Those teams that are like, they want to lose for a draft spot, but they're like equally bad.
Yeah, but I think we've talked enough about the Jets.
We have. Why don't we talk about your second favorite thing, the Pro Bowl, where the NFL has moved the Pro Bowl flag football game to the Tuesday of Super Bowl week. Roger Goodell saying it's something like a preview to the Olympics, which I mean is going to have flag football, but I don't quite understand how that parallels. But I mean, they're trying anything they can to bring something to the Pro Bowl at this point.
So, like, they're just not doing anything on Sunday now?
It sounds like not.
This is one of those things that I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't turn my Twitter notifications back on since being away for this week. Did not even see this, probably because it's not that much worth talking about. But are they still going to do like the games, the Pro Bowl games, like the Thursday before? Like, I have so many questions.
I have questions too because I didn't get a lot of information on it. It sounds like they're still going to do the games and they're going to have the flag football game, and the flag football game is going to be live Tuesday evening of Super Bowl week. So like what in the past it was Sunday afternoon, I think. So maybe the games are over the weekend, pre-recorded like they always do. I don't know. And then the flag football game's live. I really don't have all the details.
Okay. Interesting enough.
Great time. I know we're going to talk about everything that is not Pro Bowl during Pro Bowl week like we usually do. So we're going to have a great time with whatever they decide to do with that. We should move on to injuries. Note for anyone who's on here looking at lineups for tonight, Aaron Jones is officially active. So Jordan Mason, we'll talk probably about him later. Don't know about if you'd want Aaron Jones in your lineup right away either, but at least muddies the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, it'll good to see him back. I expect him to, not get a full workload right away, especially because they have the long break. So it's always nice to get him ramped up, then give him a couple extra days to playing on Thursday. But this is also the first bye-mageddon of the season with 6 teams on bye. So maybe Aaron Jones coming back is like the savior need, because I know in like the Couch GMs World Cup, I think I have 7 players on bye, and we don't have that many bench spots. So I really don't know what I'm going to be doing this week.
Yeah, I went from having a league where everyone was hurt or suspended or on bye and had no one on the bench. And now that's my one team where I don't have anyone that's on bye or hurt. I don't understand how this works, but I have like 3 different leagues where I have one active guy on the bench, no active guys on the bench. It's a great time.
I also reminds me to check my lineups. I haven't done that since last week.
You'll have time when we get off the air. Don't worry. That's why we go 6:30 to 7:30, and it only hurts when there's a Monday night doubleheader like there was earlier this week. But for the last time, I didn't get to mention that to you on Monday either. No more Monday night doubleheaders this year.
Yeah, they say that. I don't believe it.
They're gonna make one. Is that what you're trying to say?
They're gonna get a Monday night triple header in here sometime.
Okay, moving on.
It'll be the time that Christmas falls on a Monday or something, so it'll be like a special Christmas edition.
That doesn't count. Okay. For the Commanders, we have good news and bad news. I'll start with the bad news. Jaden Daniels is going to be out this week. Marcus Mariota is named their starter. The good news, Deebo Samuel is a full participant in practice, and Terry McLaurin is apparently alive and a full participant in practice.
Why is Jaden Daniels out?
Hamstring injury. I honestly thought he tore up a knee. I was surprised it was a hamstring, but thankfully it's not major, and they don't expect him to miss more than a week.
So he didn't finish the game?
He did not.
Wow, this is not great podcasting for people that want to, look at us or think, oh, these guys know what they're talking about. And I'm asking dumb questions like, did the guy finish the game? So I didn't know that one. There's another one that I have no insight on.
I feel like I have to start a tally on the bottom of the screen. If I don't figure out how to do that for me, that'd be great. Producer that doesn't exist. Anybody? Do we need an intern?
If you want to be an intern, hit us up in the DMs.
There we go. Looking for interns. Bryce Young is expected to miss week 8 with his injury. So we have Andy Dalton coming in there for Carolina. Also,
the Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket, the Red Rifle, however you want to say it. And if you didn't see, it was a 50-50 split in the backfield last week between Chuba Hubbard and Rico Dowdle, and both could be startable, at least for the time being.
And especially this week.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're starting anybody who is on a field playing a game this week, basically.
For sure.
Lamar Jackson is finally returning to practice. He was limited both days so far this week. He could return. They haven't been committal, but it sounds like he's going to be good to go.
I'm pretty sure I saw last week that, I mean, obviously things can change, but they expected him and Patrick Queen, not Patrick Queen. He's now on the Steelers. Roquan Smith.
Yep.
To both be back this week, which they would be a big boost for both the offense and defense for the Ravens, who need it if they want to try to claw their way back into the playoff contention.
They need one of those solid 5-game win streaks right now, like more than ever.
Who do they got this week?
Great question. The Bears.
Oh, man. I guess I hope the Ravens win.
Interesting what we would do with the Bears. Like Bears defense, potential streaming potential. If there's no Lamar Jackson. If Lamar Jackson's in, not touching it. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that 100%. If Lamar is there, I'm not touching the Bears defense. If he's not, then maybe I would consider it.
Yeah. I mean, it got so bad last week, or I should say 2 weeks ago, that they had Tyler Huntley finish the game. And I honestly forgot he was still on the team. He's a practice squad call up. So
That's Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley you're talking about.
this is why we're going to do something other than talk about the Pro Bowl and Pro Bowl week.
Agreed.
Did I get to Michael Penix? He was a limited participant in practice.
What happened to him?
Great question. It sounds like his injury was not as bad as it seems. I am looking up exactly what it was just for Cody here. I think they called it a bone bruise on his.
Ooh, sounds painful. Sorry, I talked over. Did you say right ankle?
No, they said foot and ankle
Foot and ankle.
injury that he has that he's playing through. But I did hear at some point that he had some kind of a foot ankle problem. But they're expecting him to be good to go this week.
I would expect that too. I don't know if the Falcons could handle like Lil Kirko going off. So I think Penix is going to play.
Yeah. The quarterback controversy that would occur if we see Kirko go out there and go prime. You like that, Kirk Cousins? Like, come on.
That'd be fun to watch, though. I kind of wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, as a Drake London owner and Bimageddon, I'm a fan. I guess add Kyle Pitts in there too.
I wanted to stream him on our streams of the week. Little tease later. He's not it because I've picked him like 3 times already this season, and we're only in week 8. So
tight end streams are a very shallow stream, honestly.
For sure.
Brock Purdy still limited in practice there for San Francisco. No word on if they're going to start him or Mac Jones. He's still lingering behind Mac Jones on the getting healthy scale, but at some point they're going to have to let Purdy loose. Ricky Pearsall still not participating in practice. If you see a Friday report where he goes to limited or full, then there's a chance I would play him, but it seems like we're going to be on the same path of it's the Kendrick Bourne and Juwan Jennings show.
Pearsall didn't play last week, right?
No, and it was a bad showing out of Bourne as well, and Jennings was not special. Honestly, the offense was basically just Christian McCaffrey.
Shocker.
Yeah,
but we're now like approaching the why didn't they put Pearsall on IR? Because this will be week 3 if he can't go, and it seems like it's trending in him not going again. So maybe he'll get back for next week.
Maybe, but I mean, there's a couple of people on here where it's like, why didn't they go on injured reserve? Terry McLaurin is a prime example. Like, he's been out for I think 5 weeks.
Why did they ever bring him off PUP?
That too. Like,
did he play week 1? That feels like forever ago.
I think he played week 1 and might not even finish the game. I don't remember. That feels like a year and a half ago.
Okay.
But even yet, like, I don't think they ever put him on injured reserve, and he hasn't played for 5 or 6 weeks. So anyway,
it's crazy. It's already week 8.
Right? We're halfway through the fantasy regular season. It's insane.
Yeah, week 1 was almost 2 months ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Episode 300. Crazy. Mason Taylor, tight end for the Jets, did not participate in practice. Excuse me. His injury is not considered serious. Sounds like they're expecting him to play this week. I guess he's on the dartboard on Bimageddon, but it was a very short-lived hype up for him.
Yeah, and with the thing that we talked about at the top of the Jets not willing to name a starting quarterback, like, I think that's why he's the dart throw that's the triple 20 right now. Like, maybe if Tyrod's out there, he has, a 2-touchdown game or something like that. But the Jets offense has been abysmal the last couple of weeks. So
I honestly think he benefited from having Garrett Wilson out there. And now that Garrett Wilson's still not expected to go this week, they're barren on offense.
Yeah, barren on offense. No Sauce Gardner this week, most likely. Barren on defense. This Jets team, man, they're struggling. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, not shocking at all, honestly. Mike Evans was placed on injured reserve with his broken collarbone he suffered with a concussion on that primetime Monday game. He should be about 8 weeks. And then we also got news that Bucky Irving will still miss week 8 as well. So they are still struggling there. There was actually no early call out for Chris Godwin this week, so there's a chance he's back, but we don't have much info.
Yeah, the big thing with Mike Evans, obviously, we hope that he gets healthy and soon back to week, but if he will lose his current streak of 1,000-yard seasons, tying Jerry Rice, not able to break that. And I mean, that's injuries are always why you often see these records not play a place. So it's unfortunate for him. But Emeka Ibuka is still out there being the guy.
The fact that he played not 8 days out of a hamstring injury and still looked good is insane to me.
Yeah, man. As someone who's played 7 days after a hamstring injury in flag football, you tell me that it's not impressive. It is very impressive. And the comments now, this guy just compared his flag football hamstring injury to Emeka Ibuka, Pro Bowl, or not, probably a Pro Bowl.
He's gonna be a Pro Bowler. At least I hope he is. Been on another Pro Bowl
football player. Bucky being out again stinks because there's another guy.
Is another one that should have been on IR.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like when Bucky got hurt, it was I thought it was like a 1 week thing.
Yep.
And everyone's like, play Rachaad White. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. And I think I even said that, and it burned me because he only had 30 yards with 3 touchdowns. So
the most Cody thing I've heard in a while, but it's very true. And like he finished the game he got hurt in, and everyone on Monday was like, I think he's going to play next week. And now 4 weeks later, he's still out.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I guess that's you always have to wait for them test results. I mean, it was even that 49ers, was it Bosa? I know we're not complete side tangent, but they were like, oh, it seems like the ACL is intact. He'll be okay. And then testing later was like, oh no, the ACL is done. Like,
yeah.
So sometimes things are better than they seem, but obviously we've seen a couple times this year where things are worse than they seem.
Exactly. And Bucky seems to be one of those cases. Apparently, excuse me again. Apparently I can't talk today. AJ Brown still has not participated in practice this week with a hamstring injury. He would need to probably log at least a limited tomorrow to go. And it kind of seems like it came out of nowhere. He finished the game last week with no issues, got a catch on the last offensive play of the game that wasn't a kneel down. And it was like, didn't seem like anything was wrong.
So he's getting traded. Right? Like,
dude, is this Devontae Adams hamstring kind of territory?
I mean, we both live in, you more so than me, Philadelphia suburbs, basically saying AJ Brown getting traded, AJ Brown to the Patriots. That's all I hear. Now he got a mystery hamstring.
He's not getting traded.
Yeah. Well, I'm not willing to rule that out, but I don't see it happening. I'll put it as I'll give it a 1 out of 10 chance.
That's fair.
During the season, this off season.
That's a different story
for sure.
Yeah, I mean at that point they can make it post June 1st and cut the cap hit too, which is probably what will end up happening. We'll see. We'll talk about that more during Pro Bowl week. How about that?
Sure. Trades we want to see during Pro Bowl week,
and then we'll do our way too early fantasy mock draft where we try to predict the first 3 rounds of freaking 7 months later.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Cool. All right. One more piece of news. Darren Waller, the darling of all of us saving the fantasy tight end community, went on to IR with a pec injury. That was another slightly less short-lived, but still short-lived stint on the top for Darren Waller.
Yeah, that definitely stinks for him. He comes back from retirement. Now he's on IR with a pec injury. Hopefully it's not season ending, but with pecs, it definitely can be. All I know is by going through this list, you guys know that I was not able to be fully engaged with the football week as I like to be prepared for this show. But one thing I do know is I saw Quinn Ewers taking snaps for the Miami Dolphins. And how did Tua get that bad that Quinn Ewers is taking snaps for them?
I mean, if you haven't heard something fun, and that's to everybody out here, go listen to Mike McDaniel's press conference after the game, and he sounded worse than you do in the Liberty Bibberty commercial.
Yeah, he's dumbfounded. Cat's got his tongue. Tua's got his tongue. I don't care how you want to say it. Like, he even said this week, he's like, the expectation's not to throw 10 interceptions, or maybe he said 9. Man's defeated. Man's going to get fired, go be an offensive coordinator for a year, and then be like, get a head coaching job, and people be back like, oh yeah, he's one of the best offensive play designers in the league. So
I'll take him in Philly, please.
hey, you guys had a 300-yard passing day last week.
Yeah, finally.
I think that's it for the list, though.
That is it for the list. So why don't we jump over to starts and sits of the week? All right. Grab your coffee or hot cocoa, sit back. I will read the book that is the bye weeks this week. We have the Cardinals, the Lions, the Jaguars, the Raiders, the Rams, and the Seahawks. Bye-mageddon is here, everybody. So we're going to give our starts and sits of the week, but let's be honest here. If they're active and on your roster, they're probably starting. And we can suggest you to sit this guy or that guy, but like it doesn't mean go add somebody off of free agency to start over that guy, at least in most cases. Like we're kind of just going for upside this week, hoping we get some touchdowns out of guys that we have to play and just surviving.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Same with starts. Like, these starts are guys that have been fringe players, and they might even be guys that you're definitely going to start, this week for sure. Maybe you don't have any question marks. If you do have questions, our DMs are always open, or if you have some deeper leagues that you want to throw out there. But I guess I can kick us off getting started with the running back position. And my start of the week is J.K. Dobbins. I know he's had a couple rough weeks in a row, so some of this is by necessity, just playing him. But if you were concerned because of those 2 down weeks, maybe I can tell you he gets to play the Dallas Cowboys defense, who gives up a ton of points to the running back, and maybe he has a bounce back week against this Denver Broncos team, which they're finding ways to win games. They also found a way to lose a game to the Indianapolis Colts. I get that. But they are definitely not as impressive or as good offensively as I think a lot of people thought. Maybe it's because Sean Payton's overrated. That's a debate for a different day. But their defense is still really good. But J.K. Dobbins, let's go up against a pretty bad defense. So I like playing him this week.
And the good news about JK is like there's still not a whole lot of competition there. The other backs in that backfield aren't doing well, and he's getting the workload. Like he puts up 4 points and then 8 points, but he's still getting 14, 16 carries a week. So I'm going to keep betting on the volume, and I like your idea of just keeping him in your lineup.
All right, who do you got at running back?
All right, I have mixed feelings about this one because, like we said at the top, we don't know who their starting quarterback is, but I'm playing Breece Hall versus Cincinnati because I'm just going to bet on the fact that even though I don't have much faith in the Jets as an offense, that Cincinnati's run defense is bad enough that he can be the one to get the Jets touchdown and let the game finish 21-7. I don't care as long as it's Breece Hall getting it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can come back at a lot of these because of the amount of bye weeks, but I think you hit on the points scored is going to be the real problem here. It's like you really need the touchdown from him, it feels like. But with Garrett Wilson not playing, Braylon Allen's been on IR, question marks at quarterback, like he should be, quote unquote, the guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anyone's rushing out there to play Alan Lazard. I mean, he was even inactive 2 weeks ago. So
now he's apparently on the trade block. I don't know who's going to trade for Alan Lazard, but he is.
Does it not feel like he's going to get traded to Pittsburgh?
I mean,
as much as they say we need a wide receiver too. Like, does that not?
There's only one fit I can find for him, and it's anywhere Aaron Rodgers is, so that makes sense.
So, speaking of trades, interesting little nugget. It was just a phone call, but the Packers called about Devon Achane.
Wow.
So, not that I
think that.
I think that was more of, Jacobs popped up on the injury report with the calf injury, and they were calling just say like, hey, what's the price? Like, I don't think they were gonna like. It doesn't seem like there was a lot of action. but at least teams are calling. Let's put it that way.
Everyone go stash Ollie Gordon if you haven't already. Is that what we're saying?
If you want a piece of that Dolphins offense, sure.
I want a piece of a running back with volume because, in fantasy, we can only ask for so much at the running back position. It's not as bad at the tight end position, but
yeah. But so I still don't expect Achane to get moved, but that was an interesting thing that I saw come out and wanted to throw that out there. But let's get back to the starts of the week. And this week at my start is one Mr. T. Higgins. This is not the Jets defense that has been vaunted in the past. We've seen that. No Sauce Gardner. Obviously, Jamar Chase, the home run. Joe Flacco just peppers him with targets. But I think another week with Joe Flacco, T. Higgins has also been a recipient of that. I think, especially during the bye weeks, you start him with confidence.
Definitely. He is one of the top end wide receiver 2s on their team, at least now, especially that they have Joe Flacco to stabilize things. I'm not worried about keeping him on the bench too much anymore. You know who else is back? Lad McConkey. 15 targets last week. Put him in your lineups for tonight. Automatic start.
Now, remember, everybody, George is a Chargers fan.
No.
Aren't you happy I didn't play the video?
Yeah, you're saving it for later.
Am I? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what you call a tease. But yeah, play Lad McConkey. Quentin Johnson's, still floating around there on the injury report a little bit. But playing. Keenan Allen has slowed down a little bit as well. That tight end's name that I can't freaking pronounce had a really good week last week, but I don't know if you can. How much?
Andre Gadsden.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I have to say it 3 times because I can't say. I keep saying Gadsden instead of Gadsden. Yeah.
Yeah, too many syllables for.
There's too many D's. You're gonna cut that. Thanks.
There's a joke in there somewhere. All right, here we go. Quick fan question.
Okay, cool.
Aaron Jones back tonight versus the Chargers or Isaiah Pacheco?
I hate by him again. Aaron Jones.
I think I'm with you on that one.
See, the thing that gets me away from Pacheco is the Chiefs 2 weeks ago say, we're going to focus on getting Pacheco more carries. And then he does mediocre. And then they give the same amount of carries to Brashard Smith the next week.
But he's also had his.
Don't want to touch it.
He also had his 2 highest rushing attempts on the season the last 2 weeks at 12 and 15. I think.
And still scored single digits at least one of those games. The other game, I think he got a touchdown.
Yeah, he got a touchdown and scored 11 fantasy points. So
the fact that he got a touchdown, so only scored 11 for a starting running back is painful.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Aaron Jones on that one.
Swing for the fences. Aaron Jones is probably still going to be splitting with Mason tonight, but we're looking at the exact same situation on the other side. Hopefully Aaron Jones gets a spark.
Yeah, and don't worry, I'm in a similar boat of having to play. I have to play Pacheco in a league, and I don't love it. So, and I would rather play Aaron Jones. So, to your point, it is a tough one. Yes.
Don't worry, I'm playing Kyle Monangai in a league. It's a great time.
Jen almost had to play Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah. That is Bimageddon, everybody.
All right. Let me finish out my start of the week at the flex spot. And again, flex does not mean the flex position. It just means we can pick a running back or a wide receiver here, a guy that we like. And we talked about AJ Brown being DNP for the hamstring injury. We talked about, the Eagles having their first, 300-yard passing game of the season, offense getting back together. So I'm going to take the number 2 there as well. It's a week for number 2s. Go Devonta Smith against the Giants. The Giants have been better as of late, but I think the Eagles are going to be upset after they got beat by the Giants 2 weeks ago, and they're going to come out swinging. And with no AJ Brown, I like Devonta Smith this week.
Me too. And even though AJ Brown kind of got a lot of the clout at some point because he's keeping things interesting on social media and all, and he got 2 touchdowns. Devontae Smith actually broke his personal single game yardage record last week and put up 28 fantasy points. So he definitely had a great game too.
Look at that. Making my points for me.
You're welcome. Get ready for tight end day. I can't wait.
Okay. We'll wait for that.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, part of me would hate it, but all right. My flex. Go ahead.
Are you telling me to start Grant Calciera? Is that how you say his name? Is he
Grant
even healthy?
Calcaterra?
Is he even healthy?
Well, I mean, he is, but the answer is Dallas Goedert, but he's not a stream because he's actually 90% owned because he's been decent.
You said tight ends day, so I thought you were telling me to play the second guy as well.
Oh, we're playing second tight ends to go with our. So what? We got Colston Loveland.
Noah Gray.
Second, Noah Gray. We're testing our roster knowledge now by finding tight end 2s.
Luke Musgrave.
I'll make a bet. Okay. I'm not actually going to bet any money on this one. Somebody go start as many tight ends as you possibly can in a league and win this week because you probably could with how many buys and injuries there are.
Dude, don't get too crazy. This isn't the bold prediction show. Don't. We're not getting there.
I have one more start. I got to get this back on track. My flex start is Tez Johnson for Tampa Bay. So, the way I look at it, they don't have Mike Evans. Ibuka is playing, but he's still probably not 100%. And everyone was like Cameron Johnson versus Tez Johnson, and Tez Johnson came through last week in the clutch. So I'm going to stick with him as somebody you could find off the wire maybe, or you hopefully got earlier this week and you can play in your flex.
Can you name their backup tight end behind Kate Otten?
No.
Okay. I can't either.
Good. Let's go to sits, Cody. Who do you have as your sit running back?
All right, my sit running back. This might help out. Sorry, I'm distracted looking up who the backup tight end. It's Payne Durham, if you remember that guy. Payne Durham.
No, I don't remember that guy. Thanks.
Yes, you do. That's a former Charger for you, buddy. Maybe
nope.
I'm okay. Anyways, my sit of the week. We talked about Aaron Jones coming back. He has not been great in his role. He gets to play the Los Angeles Chargers. So I'm fading Jordan Mason this week.
Fades instead of sits, a good way to say this segment.
Yeah, this is fades of the week. Change the name. Fades of the week. Jordan Mason.
I like it. I mean, play him if you have to. Sure. Same with Aaron Jones. Like, I actually like Aaron Jones better than Jordan Mason. I don't think Mason did quite well enough to like earn all those carries unless they're just trying to ease Jones in. So fade both, fade especially Mason. Cool.
Who do you got?
I'm going to the Steelers Green Bay game. I'm fading Jaylen Warren because Green Bay's rush defense is very good, and Jaylen Warren has been another guy who has been okay, but he's definitely not impressive enough to want to play in a tough matchup unless you have to.
I do not mind that one at all. The Packers defense has been a little bit more susceptible to the run game, but they should be getting Devontae Wyatt, their big defensive tackle back, which could go a long way. So don't hate that fade at all. For me, at the wide receiver position for my fade of the week, it's a guy George was saying start a couple weeks ago. I'm going to fade him this week. That is one Mr. Stephon Diggs. Now, he is a little bit banged up, so that could play a little bit of factor into it. But he is still not seen as many targets in the last 2 weeks as he did the week against Buffalo. He goes up against Cleveland, which they have a pretty good defense all around, mainly on the defensive line, but they're a solid defense in general. The only way it saves him would be if he gets his first touchdown of the season, because he has not caught one yet. So that would be my concern, is that he might squeak his way into the end zone. But without the touchdown points, I would fade Stephon Diggs.
We're saving those touchdowns in New England for either Hunter Henry, for all of us out there who are just playing him at tight end and hoping, or for apparently Ramondre Stevenson, because Trevion Henderson can't buy a carry at this point.
Dude, free Trevion Henderson. He should have been my
Please. I mean, he could have been your sit because he's not getting carries, but man, I hope we get to one day him being a start this year. Come on.
All right, who do you got at wide receiver?
All right, I'm going to Chicago, and I am picking DJ Moore because DJ Moore has only scored over 10 fantasy points one time in half PPR at least. I think it's actually in full PPR too, all season. And it was in week 3 against Dallas. He has only scored a touchdown that one game, and he has completely been superseded by Roma Dunze in that offense. So I'm not saying drop him. I think you can play him if you're desperate because he's still getting floor 5-6 points, and maybe that's kind of what we need to find this week. But I don't want him really anywhere near my lineups if I can help it.
No, I think that is definitely it's hard to trust the guy you took high. Like you said, you might not be able to afford to not play him. But if you have been playing him, you probably haven't been doing so well anyway. So probably just go ahead and throw him on the bench spot. So I like that sit
Go
or
find
fade.
Tej Johnson.
But that leaves me with my one last flex spot, and I'm going to go to the wide receiver position. And this is a guy that maybe people are like, I wasn't going to play him anyways. Maybe this is just me wanting him to be better than he has been in terms of fantasy. I think he's been a solid wide receiver, just lack of a lot of opportunity, which isn't great for fantasy. That is one Mr. Matthew Golden of the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you've seen some of the advanced metric stats or heard about them, or maybe you'll hear them for the first time right now, that the Packers are the number 1 offense in explosive plays, and the Steelers are ranked 30th in giving up explosive plays, which means the guy that ran a 4.29 should be a big slam dunk play this week. I hear you, and I hope that's the case. I just don't think it will be. And Christian Watson is expected to make his season debut. Now, I expect that to only probably be like 15 snaps or so. But if you're going to only play a guy for 15 snaps and a team that likes to give up big plays, a deep shot to Christian Watson or two, take that opportunity away from Matthew Golden, I would sit him this week.
He's on a lot of people's streaming radar because he's been a borderline rosterable guy, and we're all kind of desperate at this point. So I like the idea of avoiding him, and I think the one league I have him in, I can, but I wouldn't blame you if you needed to. I want him to be good too. I really do, and he might be by the end of the season, but he's not there yet.
And when we say not good, I just want to be very clear. I'm just talking strictly fantasy. Like if you look at his yards per route run, his catch percentage, like he is doing a lot of good things for as a wide receiver should. He's even leads the category in some categories for rookie wide receivers ahead of Emeka Egbuka. It's just he doesn't have the same opportunities that he has, and the fantasy output is why like fantasy people don't think he has been as well as either. And I would throw in the caveat too, like I debated saying Romeo Doubs here as well, but I just think it's a lot more likely that Romeo Doubs finds the end zone in a week like this. And I think touchdowns or points are king when it comes to Mageddon. So Romeo Doubs didn't make that list because I think his has a high upside of getting at least a touchdown.
I like that. I mean, Dobbs is somebody who I'm definitely more willing to start than Golden. And did you mention that we have a chance Christian Watson's back too?
Yeah, it sounds.
Okay.
He really wants to go. I'm not convinced. So the Packers have till Monday to officially activate him from the 21-day practice window. And even if they do activate him, they don't have to play him right away. I think that this would be a good game to get them, but I know there's been some question marks about like the field. I think it had to be resodded, and they're like, do you want to throw a guy out there coming off of a ACL injury on a field surface like that for his first game? So TBD if he but again, it might only be 15 snaps, but I expect him to be out there.
Enough that it makes you a little bit more wary of those Packers wide receivers. So I got you there. I have one more guy on our fades sits of the week. And in one of my leagues where I only have one guy left on the bench that's active, that guy is Keon Coleman. And he's another guy where I just want him to be good. And I think he can be effective if the Bills use him more in that offense. And for whatever reason, he is just, they don't want to use him as a focal point. So he's still on rosters for upside, and maybe he'll eventually start to turn it around. But He's scored over 10 half PPR points one time all season. It was in week 1. He's only scored 2 touchdowns, and when he scored that second touchdown, he got 8 points. Like, it's been a rough go.
Yeah. I mean, he's like another fool's gold. Like, you think, oh, the number 2 option for Josh Allen, that's a guy you'd want in your lineup, and it just not has panned out. So I completely agree with that one.
All right, Cody, do you want to get to our streams? You were quick to the button on that one. Why don't we start with quarterbacks? Who do you, or I guess I normally go first in streams. For my stream of the week quarterback, I'm going to old man Flacco against the New York Jets.
Joe Furr. I'm trying to get that started.
The Jets defense has actually been pretty good. There's been a lot of very low scoring games for the Jets, but Flacco seems to be succeeding with the big weapons they have there in Cincinnati. The Jets are a dumpster fire, so I wouldn't be shocked if they gave up a lot of points in this one. And when we're this low on quarterbacks, he is probably your best available on the waiver wire if you need someone.
Over under 14 targets for Jamar Chase.
Over. He had 23 last week.
I loved the memes as like, oh, this looks like a Justin Fields stat line. This looks like a Jalen Hurts stat line. This looks like a Caleb Williams stat line, or insert quarterback, because he was like 18 for 23 for 180 yards and a touchdown. Like, It was crazy.
23 targets.
Hey, right back into the Triple Crown conversation after 1 week.
Yeah, he's absolutely amazing. And T. Higgins is still good.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Chase Brown still isn't, unfortunately. And I still wouldn't play Chase Brown.
He's gotten 10 points 2 straight weeks.
Okay. But it's, I guess, good. Yes.
Not
better.
Great.
Not end of the second round draft pick, high expectations like you had.
No, definitely not. But, like, playable now.
Yeah, and he actually did look good running the ball against the Steelers last week, so. And he's not
a pretty good defense.
So you're probably playing him this week too, because you just need running backs.
I'll tell you I am. I mean, him or Chuba Hubbard. I'll ask you on the fly.
Ooh, buddy. Without looking. I'd probably play Chuba, honestly.
Oh. Okay. That's a shocker to me.
That was my gut reaction.
Okay. Tell me your gut reaction quarterback stream then.
Gut reaction? Give me Michael Penix, and heck, if he is inactive, give me Little Kirko. They get to play. Why am I blanking on the team that they get to play right now? This is terrible. Right? They get to play the Miami Dolphins, so of course I want to play. Yeah, this team, they can ball out. Maybe it'll be like the team that showed up against the Buffalo Bills. Give me Michael Penix, stream of the week. I'm tired of getting accused of picking people too high. How do you like that?
I mean, if Penix starts doing that, I'll laugh. But
so yeah, Michael Penix, stream of the week.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to tight ends or Andre Gadsden. I can't say it still. What the heck, Gadsden? That guy, tight end for the Chargers tonight. He's probably your best option off the waiver wire, and he's my stream of the week at tight end.
Alrighty. I just don't understand why it starts with an O and it's pronounced Andre. That's just what throws me for a loop. Shout out to unique names. That's great. It just throws me for a loop.
It's the Gadsden that gets me. The second part of the last name.
Alrighty. For me, I'm going to Jonnu Smith, another deeper pool for the tight end position as my stream of the week. Now, hear me out. For Jonnu Smith stream of the week. 1, the Steelers play the most 12 personnel, which means 2 tight ends, as anybody in the league. They even play some 13, but sometimes that's a third tight end or an extra offensive lineman. However, Packers defense this year against tight ends, week 1, it was Sam Laporta. You can say his name. He had 6 catches, 79 yards. Zach Ertz, the week later, 6 catches, 64 yards, and a touchdown. Njoku and Fanning, the week after that, 8 catches, 65 yards. Jake Ferguson had 7 catches. The Bengals tight ends, with Joe Flacco had 9 catches for 35 yards and a touchdown. McBride last week obviously had 10 catches, 74 yards, and a touchdown. You can see a theme. They give up points to the tight end position. So why not take Jonnu Smith?
Because we don't know if he's the right one. They
Okay.
used all 3. That's the problem I have with it.
Yeah, so I can understand if you wanted to start Darnell Washington because I think he might even have more touchdowns on the season.
Yeah, like you can even say maybe I'll start Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, Pat Freiermuth is probably the right answer, but just like until last week, everyone forgot that he was on the team too. So, you know what? Play both. But I should probably change this to Pat Freiermuth because, again, I forgot he was there.
No, you're saying with Jonnu Smith now. You're locked in. You said it live on the mic.
Yeah, sure. Jonnu Smith. Give me that.
No, I mean, the only issue I have with it is that they have 3, and they've been using them so interchangeably. But your thought process is solid, and it could be any of the 3. So take it as pick your favorite Pittsburgh tight end this week and see if they get the touchdown. Or we could have a situation where all 3 of them get a touchdown, like it was either last week or 2 weeks ago.
Give me Jonnu. Freiermuth had a big week last week. So is he going to do it again? Probably, but probably not.
We'll see.
George doesn't like this pick.
No, I don't. But what I do like is the Falcons defense versus Miami. And when they get Quinn Ewers into the game again, you're going to be thanking me for the 25 fantasy points the Falcons defense get. Now that's a little bold, but play the Falcons defense.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick here. And I'm just going to continue my deep dive streams of the week. I can't believe I'm about to say this. Give me that Cincinnati Bengals defense as a stream of the week in fantasy football. They get to play the New York Jets, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. No Garrett Wilson. Give me the Bengals defense.
You know what's funny to me?
I think Trey Hendrickson's back too.
You think you can stream something that doesn't exist?
Wow. That was such a deep joke that I'm really impressed.
You're welcome. Yeah. But no, really, I actually don't hate it because the Jets are so bad. I'm not playing the Bengals against pretty much everyone else in the league. I wouldn't even think I would play the Bengals against the Saints right now. But against the Jets, with how they've been, I would definitely consider it.
Miami.
Heck, the Titans make people fumble into their own end zone somehow. I might not even play damn Bengals defense against them.
I saw a stat. So we've played 7 weeks of the season. Do you know how many touchdowns the Titans have scored?
Probably not 7.
7. They average 1 a week. The lowest in the league. So
that's bad. And we think the Jets are bad.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Snyder.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for streams? Are we done with that already?
Yeah, we are.
I guess that means we got to get to games of the week with the bumper I still don't have made.
Yeah, could. This is your weekly reminder. Get back with it, Cody. Yours is a blank on our rundown, so I want you to go first here. And what do you have for your game of the week?
All right, so in classic Cody fashion, I don't have a game of the week.
Oh gosh, here we go. Name 7 of them.
Exactly.
There's only 8 on the schedule because there's so many bye weeks.
So honestly, I kind of think the game of the week that because George already picked one, and if you know me, you know what game that is. Honestly, I think the Thursday night game might be the game of the week, but that's the next segment. So I'm going to pass on that because we'll talk about that in a second. The Bears-Ravens game I find very fascinating because of Lamar Jackson coming back and the Bears being 4-2. Like, if you would have told me the Ravens were 4-2 and the Bears were 1-5, like that seems more realistic, but the Bears are playing well. The Ravens, they need a big win. Can they get that against the Bears? But that's the one I wanted to give an honorable mention. The other honorable mention I'm going to throw out there. Nope, I'm just going to pick it.
Okay.
The Eagles and the New York Giants. I want to see the rematch. The game 2 weeks ago was an embarrassing game. The Giants should have beat the Broncos and be on a win streak here. The Eagles had their best game offensively. Was that game a fluke? Do we see something similar? Obviously, Jalen Carter is expected to play in this one. I don't expect Cam Scatterbo to have 3 rushing touchdowns again this week, but anytime these division rivals face off in the I-76 rivalry, it's a good game. It's at 1:00. It's a great way to kick off football Sunday.
It unfortunately should be a good game, so I'm not disagreeing with you. Not having AJ Brown would be interesting. The Eagles' record without AJ Brown is not great, so not having him in there would complicate things when you're considering it's a team that just steamrolled them a few weeks ago. The only thing I have to fight against it is Thursday Night Football is so unpredictable.
No, I agree. Like it was hard for me to say like let's have this, because if you told me the Eagles win by 3 touchdowns, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
If you tell me the Giants win, I'm like, okay. But when the 4:00 slate is the Buccaneers at the Saints, the Cowboys and the Broncos, and the Titans and the Colts, like, do you know how much that dude is going to have to talk on Red Zone waiting for a team to get there?
Yeah, Cowboys Broncos might not be bad, but it probably won't be good until the fourth quarter when Bo Nix decides to play football.
Yeah, and can the Cowboys offense be elite against that defense like they have been?
That's going to be a good test because, yeah, the Cowboys offense has been one of the better ones in the league. So,
I mean, I guess Saints Buccaneers is the game to watch, because the Saints at least made every game competitive. They only have 1 win for it, but at least they've made most of their games competitive.
yeah, I mean, that's probably going to be the best game. I don't know. It's not a great slate, which is why I'm skipping it and going to Sunday night. And I'm picking Packers at Steelers because it is the Aaron Rodgers versus the old Packers revenge game. It's in Pittsburgh, and the Packers have not had a lot of success in Pittsburgh, and I'm sure Cody knows that and can dive deeper.
Yes, it's not against Pittsburgh, but it's in Pittsburgh. They haven't won since Bart Starr was the quarterback. Now, granted, these teams only play in theory, they only play in Pittsburgh every 8 years. So it takes a while to get back there. Obviously, they still played a handful of games.
And Pittsburgh's almost always good. So
but they played 2 years ago in Pittsburgh because of the new 17th game flex schedule. That game came down to a last second touchdown attempt by the Packers. Got picked off as the time wound out, right before the Packers went on their run to the playoffs to beat those Cowboys. That was beautiful. But it's been tough for sure. This Packers defense has been up and down. They're really good at getting pressure, but Aaron Rodgers is really good at getting the ball out. Rodgers is looking to be only the 5th person ever to beat all 32 teams. And we get to watch them in their ugly yellow and black throwback jerseys and the Packers all white. We couldn't just have a classic green versus or black versus white. We get to watch whatever this is.
Those ugly remake of the Bumblebees is what they call it, I think, but it's like even worse, like this V thing on the front of their jersey. I don't know. It's horrible. If you haven't seen it, go search it. It's bad.
But for sure, this is definitely the game of the week. Just not because the matchups are rough in general, but Packers, Steelers, 2 historic franchises, Rodgers, Love, all the stuff that went down for them. I know the talk has been like, it's just another game. We respect each other. You're gonna want to tune in for this one, and very blessed to say that I'll be in the stands watching this one. So get to see Rodgers sling it one last time, presumably in my lifetime, against the Green Bay Packers, but hopefully green and gold, or all white, I should say, gets the dub.
Well, looking forward to hearing how that experience for you is out in Pittsburgh. I hear it's a nice stadium too, so should be a fun time for you. Should be a good game. We have tonight's game, which you said might even be the game of the week to hit here at the end of the show. Vikings at Chargers. Minnesota is a 3.5 point underdog, and over under is at 44.5 for this one. What do you got on tonight?
No, I just think this is a really good matchup. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Carson Wentz is still starting.
Yes.
I know there was some, like, maybe JJ's back this week, but I thought I saw that Wentz was still starting.
I think short week didn't help it. It sounds like I would expect him back next week.
We'll see. It seems like they're going to let him want to get him extremely healthy. We'll see how this game goes.
I almost think that honestly he might be healthy enough to go in a normal situation, but they're like easing him back for his growth.
No, I think there is some part to that as well. But just these are two solid teams. I don't think they're, in that upper echelon of elite teams yet. I think they both have potential to be there. Uh, and I'm looking forward to this game, whether it's Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and this is also a game that has the stars, right? A week of a bunch of buys, you get Jordan Addison, you get Justin Jefferson, you get Lad McConkey, you get
Keenan
Keenan
Allen.
Allen, Quentin Johnston. You even get the unsung heroes and Andre Gadsden and Jaime Valdal. You get Aaron Jones coming back. You still have TJ Hawkinson, Justin Herbert. It should just be a fun game all around. And the Chargers are wearing them nice navy blue throwback jerseys. So that's always fun too.
Love me a good jersey matchup that's not those ugly Steelers remake throwbacks. But yeah, no, I think it should be a good one here. I'm interested to see if the Chargers step up to the occasion because I feel like they're a team that we always consider, one of those teams has a chance to jump into the upper echelon and then they just start laying eggs against teams that they shouldn't. Not saying the Vikings are a team that they should just automatically beat. They're a solid defense. Carson Wentz has been doing fine. He's just been very up and down. But the Chargers have been disappointing at times. So what Chargers team are we going to see is going to be the question here. And the Vikings were solid on defense until recently. They need a little bit of a rebound, and a tough Thursday night game is going to be a hard way for them to try to correct themselves.
And as I pull up the inactives here, it is worth noting that one, Hassan Haskins is inactive, so it seems like a Vidal is definitely a start this week, but they're also getting back their left tackle and their right tackle for the Chargers. So that is a big boost for this team. Really,
and Johnston is playing, but last week he played, and it seems like it's going to be more the Lad McConkey, Keenan Allen show now going forward, which is how I expected it to start.
Awesome. And then the same thing for the Vikings. They're getting Christian Darrisaw back. Their left tackles, so both left tackles are returning. Although it does sound like Darrisaw might be on a snap count, so we might see some rotation at the left tackle position. And then J.J. McCarthy is officially inactive, so he's not even the backup quarterback in this situation. So want to throw that out there, but yeah, really looking forward to this game for sure.
Yeah, I think that wraps up at least what we can come up with for week 8. Always remember our DMs are open, and if you have any questions before we get out of here, you can drop them in the comments. We'll throw them in at the end. But do you want to have a little bit of fun here on episode 300 before we get out of here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so I took the luxury of preloading a couple of fun things from the past 299 episodes, just to kind of reminisce a little bit, and feel free to kind of throw in some of your memories or your favorite things as we go. But how long has it been since you listened to the intro to episode 1?
It's been a while.
So you want to cringe with me? Because I'm probably going to just hide my face after this is over. I sound horrible in this.
All right, let's hear it.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Couch GMs Podcast, the very first episode. I am your host, George Kurth, along with the two best friends that anyone could have, Tyler Snyder.
What's going on, guys?
And Cody Roadcap.
How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going?
You sound the same.
I sound the same.
I sound like a deer in the headlights.
Which, one, as you could tell, we weren't even on video by then, which is probably for the best. When what? AB. Do you remember where you were when you recorded it? I remember vividly sitting in my bedroom with my laptop on a TV tray, thinking I was the coolest guy in the world, and I was not.
I think I was in my wife, then girlfriend's apartment on her kitchen table.
Wow, you were on the kitchen table. That's an impressive spot to be.
Sitting on it. No, I'm kidding. All right. Do you remember during year 1 how we would pick every game? We would have punishments to the loser of whoever got the most games wrong.
Yes, it was one of my least favorite things about that we've ever done on the podcast. Not because of the punishments, just because I thought it was so cheesy.
Oh, it was 100% cheesy. And there were some good ones I think the final, I ended up losing the whole entire thing and I kept getting sprayed with sodas that were mixed together until I could guess what the sodas were. That was a really bad one. I remember drinking hot dog water mixed with what was it? Miracle Whip.
Yeah,
It was a
that
great
sounds.
time.
I know for me, I had to paint my fingernails or use
Yeah.
Color Street, and that was a miserable experience. And then the other one, I had to drink a soda through a sock.
Yeah.
But all that, we got a fan question. And I feel like before we throw it to this video that you're about to
Oh,
show,
we gotta go to the fan question before the
yeah.
video because they're gonna leave, and I don't blame them.
But all right, so got a question. Would you start Vidal or Kamara? Need some help here. You guys are my tiebreaker. So this one seems it's like one of those weird situations where it's like, am I really gonna sit Alvin Kamara for Miami Vidal? Now, just a quick look at Fantasy Pros, pulling up some stats here to help make this decision. They are currently ranked 19th and 20th, giving the slight edge to Kamara, but Kamara is in the worst matchup for me. And I think that's where my direction is going to go. We just talked about the Thursday night game, getting both Pickens and Joe Alt, getting both their left tackle and right tackle back. I think will be a big boost for the Chargers and Vidal with no Hassan Haskins. We've seen Kamara only get 11 targets 11 attempts last week, 10 the week before, 8 the week prior. They're going against the Buccaneers. We know they have a pretty good run defense. So I'm going to give the slight edge to Vidal. What are your thoughts, George?
I think you and I are on the same page because it's not that I'm absolutely in love with Vidal, but I think not having Haskins helps. The matchup against the Vikings is, I think, somewhere in the middle. The Buccaneers matchup seems tougher. And even though Kamara doesn't have Kendre Miller there anymore to take away any carries, it's just that offense is so bad that, crazy enough, I have to agree with you, and I think I'd go Vidal.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. So hopefully it works out for you. All right, you're gonna ask the second question. Of course, you can ask the second question. What do we still think about Dowdle?
At this point, I think he is still the lead in like fantasy points to an extent, at least for the short term. I think he's going to be slightly more effective than Chuba. Chuba was not the most efficient with his carries last week. I think probably ramping up from the injury is going to be part of that, and I don't expect that to be a long-term problem. But if they're going to be 50-50, you have a chance to start both. I like Dowdle better in the short term. Keep riding the hot hand. And then maybe in a week or two, we reassess and see, like, did the snap counts change? Did the efficiencies change?
Alrighty. So let me ask you a question, just because, I don't know if this is two different teams he's looking at, but just maybe to help him out too. Dowdle or Alvin Kamara?
Dowdle.
Okay. I think I'm on the same boat as you, but it is very, very close. And ironically, he would be the next in line on Fantasy Pros, and the fantasy footballers are split on that one.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, I think we can still ride Dowdle this week as well.
All right. Now, warning to you to get out of here if you are a little bit weak in the stomach, because we were talking about all these crazy punishments we did way back in our first year on the podcast, and drinking soda through socks and drinking hot dog water, and great time. One of the weeks, I remember our girlfriends, now wives, were like, "You guys stink at picking games. We could beat you." And they didn't. At least one of them didn't. And that was your wife, Jen, who ended up having to drink a Happy Meal smoothie, which I have had the luxury of pulling part of the video for you. This thing looked absolutely horrible. Oh my God.
Yeah, I really still can't believe I did that. So
It wasn't you. It was
she did it because she was dating me at the time.
yeah.
So yeah, that was a nasty throwback. Props to her for being a trooper coming in through that. And that was the one thing for sure that I heard. Wow, sorry. I got like 4 text messages. My phone just started chiming like crazy. Lost me for a train of thought. So I said at the beginning I didn't like the punishments and stuff like that. And obviously that was our girlfriends, but they weren't the only people that got involved. It was fun to see early on people getting involved and picking games. And, hindsight, maybe we should do we don't talk about every game anymore just because we're a little bit more fantasy focused. But I do think maybe picking games should be something we look at doing just as like a fan pool, and maybe like the winner gets a prize or something like that.
I like it. We can look into it as we go into figuring out what we're doing for next year. Maybe we do a thing where you and I pick a handful of games. Either we pick all the same games, or we can, pick and choose. You have to pick 5 different outcomes. I've seen that done before too.
All right.
One of your favorite memories of me, and it was a show that you weren't even on. So I remember doing a filler episode in the off season with Tyler at one point.
We're just playing the video. Just play the video. Don't give background. Just play the video.
All right. The number 1 seed in the NFC will be the Minnesota Vikings, led by 2,000-yard rusher Alexander Madison.
Yowza. All right. Yeah, that's that is definitely bold.
I love how I tried to say that so confidently and then just couldn't.
So
I have to get background anyway because you're gonna deal with it. The point of that episode was to give the hottest takes you could find on the internet.
It was an off-season episode. I think like the middle of July when you're just begging for football and you're like, give me the most. So yes, I'll give you credit. Honestly, like the one that made even less. No, that one probably made the least amount of sense. But Snyder then goes on to say that Aaron Rodgers is going to lead the league in interceptions. Like he's not the most turnover adverse quarterback we've ever seen play the game. So it was just a fun episode, maybe a little bit too far on the bold predictions, but that's not my favorite moment of you, buddy.
No.
My favorite moment of you is the moment that you let your true self show for just a second.
I'm a Chargers fan. I don't know what you're talking about.
And what I love even more is that you knew that moment was so true to your heart that you wore the same shirt today.
I was glad you noticed. I did it on purpose just for you.
I did. I caught that. I was like, he's wearing his Chargers blue on Chargers game day because he is a Chargers fan.
And I don't have the same, set up next to me. I have the shelves hung now, but it is worth noting I still have the helmet tape dispenser.
That is true. Also, anyone still listening, probably people have checked off by now. This is a great episode to check out on YouTube if you haven't. But maybe the proudest moment of I go through, assuming no one listens to us talk about fantasy football. We get some fan questions. They're great. We love having them. I don't think anybody listens to us because that's just my personality and how I view things. This year at our League of Record draft, somebody else, not me, our good friend. Why am I now blank? I'm so
Connor?
sorry.
You're talking about Connor?
Yes, I wanted to say Christian. I'm like, we don't even have a Christian in our league. Why are you saying that name? Connor throws George is a Chargers fan out of the blue in perfect time and rhythm. So if one thing has stuck over 300 episodes, it is that George is in fact a Chargers fan. Do not let the Eagles light, the Eagles ball, the Eagles Philly special play design, the Eagles mini helmet. Don't let any of that facade just tell you that he's not a Chargers fan.
I can't let you get on your soapbox and be all that excited and not rip you back off of it, but I'm kidding. I'm just going to let you have it for now.
Thank you.
I have 300 more episodes to get it back.
Brian doing this 300 more times. 299 maybe. 300 absolutely not.
Well, whenever we get to episode 599, go guys, it's the end. So
I hope it lands.
Enjoy it while you can.
I hope it lands on the week before fantasy football playoffs, and I'm like, just done. Here we go. Good luck.
We're also talking to the guy who's been done playing fantasy football for the last 10 years, so I don't take what he says too seriously either.
Wow. All right, that was your little shot in the dark to get me back. But I think that should wrap up this episode. It was great to go down memory lane, look at some throwbacks. Thank you again for being with us. You've been here since the beginning. It's podcast out there on Facebook. Remember, our DMs are always open. George is doing a great job keeping up with those conversations and getting back to you in record time to answer your questions. And if they're tough ones, he sends them our way to get some more advice. And you can do that on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, all those good places at the Couch GMs. I'm Cody Roadcap. That's George Kurth. We'll be back next week on the race to the next 300.